This is All India Radio. Life must go on. All India Radio, in collaboration with Vigyan Prasar, presents science serial Life Must Go On, based on understanding and managing sustainable development. Let's listen to episode number 44, titled Problems of Expanding Cities.
Sudha, I guess it's all done.
What?
Let's go, Sudha.
No.
Look, you have purchased all you needed. And see, the crowd is increasing too.
There are heavy discounts over there.
No, Sudha.
Please?
Let's go. Now, where are you headed to? Sudha!
I'll be there in a minute. I'll be back there very soon. Excuse me, Bhaiya. How much is this bed sheet for?
Come inside, madam. I will tell you everything. This is only 800 rupees.
800 is too much. I'll give
Please
you...
come inside.
Oh, I just don't understand why these sales have to be organized. Look, the crowds are unbearable. And to top it off, they have these sales every day. Oof, what to do?
This is the attraction of a sale. Next to it, everything is pale.
Who is it? Aha, it's you, Professor Ranjit.
Yes, my dear friend, it's me.
How are you?
I am great.
Well, I see that even you have not been able to resist the pull of the sale.
You're right.
Even teaching zoology at the college could not keep you away.
Absolutely.
You have come running to answer the call of the sale, huh?
Not come running. I've been pulled here.
Oh, you too.
Well, not only you both, but me too.
Dr. Shweta.
Yes.
Dr. Shweta?
Namaste.
You too?
Namaste, Dr. Ranjit.
Namaste.
Namaste, Hariharji.
Namaste, Shweta.
Oh yeah, I've been pulled here too. My daughter is in second year now and is interested in ever-changing fashion.
Oh,
And my son wants a new jacket. So I have been pulled here.
Oh.
By force.
so you haven't been able to evade the pull of finance and economics even while teaching this in college, huh?
I couldn't. That's how it is.
Like the two of us.
Oh yeah.
But where are they? I mean, the duo.
Oh, they couldn't make it. Actually, they have given their list to their papa, and now their papa is doing all the shopping right there in the shop.
Oh.
Oh, so Professor Arvind is here as well.
Oh, yeah.
His new book, what was the name? Expanding Cities, Shrinking Lifelines, wasn't it?
Yes, Ranjitji. That was the same book.
I wonder why lives are shrinking as cities are expanding. Surely lives must expand along with expanding cities.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think so?
But you need to ask Arvind about that since he has written that book.
Hey, look, Sudha is finally here.
Oh, hi,
Hello.
Hi, Sudha.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Hey, Ranjit is also here.
Hello, Sudhaji.
Arvind is there. Arvind, this side. Hey.
Oh, hey, Shweta. Oh, and who do we have here? Namaste, Sudhaji.
Namaste, Arvindji.
Harihar bhai, namaste.
Namaste, Arvind.
And who do we have here? Who else is here? Ranjit, my man.
Namaste, Arvind.
So, Sudha, did you get what you needed?
Of course. You know, I was lucky to get almost everything I wanted.
Finally.
So why don't we all stop somewhere for a sip and a bite?
Oh, yeah, that'll be
good
great.
That is an
good idea.
excellent idea from Sudha Bhabhi.
Thanks.
Besides, we have met after such a long time.
Oh, yeah.
We should definitely spend some time together. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey,
Okay, let's
I know a nice restaurant nearby. Let's go there for a session of chit chat and some
Yes.
fritters. What
Okay,
say?
Shweta, we'll follow you. Come, let's
go.
go.
Come on, Shweta, let's go.
This is the place. Yeah.
It's a good place. huh?
Let's just sit that corner.
Yeah,
No? Okay.
What would you like to have, sir? Dosa, idli, vada, chowmin, tea, coffee.
We have a
Four
lot of
masala
options.
dosas and 4 coffees, please. Okay?
Okay.
Is it fine for everyone over here?
No, Sudha Bhabhi. Please order 3 masala dosas and 1 chole bhature.
Huh?
Yeah, but 4 coffee, that's fine.
Ah,
Okay, sir.
Ranjit ji, you may place your question before Arvind now.
A question for me?
Yeah, there's a question for you.
What question?
Well, Arvind, Ranjit is little curious about the title of your new book.
Oh.
Expanding Cities, Shrinking Lifelines.
expanding cities and shrinking lifelines. But Harihar, why should life shrink if cities expand? I mean, the population is also growing nowadays. I must admit, I've not been able to grasp the meaning of the title at least.
That is exactly I was wondering too, Sudha Bhabhi.
Oh, you too.
Now, Arvind ji, you are an environmentalist and a good author too. So explain as to how expanding cities or urbanization is impacting lives and sustainability.
Ah, good question, Arvind.
Think of it this way, Ranjit ji.
Okay.
The cities are growing, but the villages are diminishing.
So, shouldn't the cities grow? And if that is your argument, then the title of your book should have been Expanding Cities, Diminishing Villages.
Actually, you are not wrong. However, the rate at which the people are migrating to the cities is worrisome because the resources of the cities are limited. So the urban lifestyle is under immense pressure.
Oh, yes.
Don't you think that the expansion of cities, rapid urbanization has led to erosion in the standards of living? And that there has been a waning of warmth in interpersonal relationships, in a definite decline in the feeling of brotherhood?
But what do you mean?
Yeah.
What I mean is that the very basis of what constitutes life is slowly eroding, being degraded, disappearing.
Arvind Bhai Sahab, I've just concluded a fierce financial negotiation with a shopkeeper over there. And my dear brain can't take such difficult ideas unless you simplify them.
Sudha Bhavi, a major fact came to light in 2007 or thereabouts when it was revealed that more people are living under urban conditions than in rural.
Oh, I see.
The 2014 survey revealed that about 54% of global population now lives in towns and cities. This figure is expected to reach 66% by 2050.
Well, Arvind, the rural population moves to urban areas in search of better livelihood, opportunities, and lifestyle.
Yeah.
We have done the same. So, what is wrong with it?
No, Harihar Bhai, I am not suggesting that there is anything wrong with this.
Then,
The global patterns of migration, be it because of change in rainfall patterns, because of climate change, or because of increased desertification, or because of war.
War.
Yes, well, in some way or the other, we are responsible. Our policies, they are to blame.
how?
Well, we came to urban areas because we wanted to, right? That was voluntary decision, not because we were pushed into making this choice.
But how are people pushed into making this choice?
Just like you were pushed into visiting the market today.
Shweta,
Arvind ji, well then you have to explain us in detail.
Ji Bhabhi ji, since we have some time on our hands till our dosas arrive, let me explain at leisure.
I must tell you
I
that.
must tell you that I have written a newspaper article on the socio-economic issues emanating from urbanization.
Oh, yes, I know. Arvind gave me that clipping to read, and I thought you wrote correctly about how cities expand.
Oh, thank you, Shweta.
But how do cities expand?
Harihar ji,
Yeah.
you wrote an entire article on this topic, but did not give it to Sudha Bhabhi to read.
But it is common, isn't it, to undervalue those who are nearest to us?
no, nothing like this. Huh?
Got hold of you, Harihar.
Okay, so the thing is, Arvind has argued that there are three main reasons behind urbanization.
Okay.
First is when people from rural areas head towards urban areas or even migration through internal borders. And then the migratory patterns that lead to expansion linking adjoining districts with the nearby major town.
Like what is happening with Delhi?
Yeah.
Yes, Sudha Bhabhi. This pattern is the same for every large town or city. Shweta ji, what is the third focal point?
That is the natural increment of numbers with each generation.
Shweta, in my article, I have raised this question too.
Oh, yeah?
I had questioned if the cities could sustain such an enormous population load. I had asked if the cities in poor and developing nations have resources sufficient enough to meet the requirement of a large migrant population.
True, that is.
Indeed, Harihar Bhai. You had raised these questions, and in a way, it is this that formed the basis of the title of my book.
Oh, really?
Yes. If we take developing nations into consideration, the increase in urbanization is because of movement from rural areas into urban ones.
Correct.
According to an estimate by UN Habitat, globally about 30 lakh people migrate every week to urban areas.
Oh.
In cities such as Sydney, London, and New York, migrants make up about 35% of the population.
And the proportion of migrant population in Brussels and Dubai is more than half of the population. You see?
You mean the proportion of migrant population in Dubai and Brussels is more than 50%?
Yes, Sudha.
And according to the World Migration Report published in 2015, this mass migration is widely overlooked even though there is global concern about urbanization. The challenges include providing service such as clean water and health services for the growing migrant population.
Arvind, I guess this is natural enough.
Yeah.
When there is a mass exodus towards cities from villages and people flock to cities in search of better conditions or better livelihood, it's only natural that the city's resources will be stretched thin.
And what about the demands that the original urban population makes?
I know, crime increases.
Correct.
Right?
Correct, Sudha. But it is not just the crime.
Then?
The problems also arise when there is not enough water, electricity, and other resources for everyone.
Yes, I agree with your argument. See, just a couple of decades back, when houses were designed for the middle income groups, just one small garage, adequate enough to house a scooter, was considered sufficiently for every family.
Oh, yeah.
Now, every family has 2 or 3 cars each. And when the family is at home, the parked cars create such congestion that the poor vegetable vendors cannot trundle this little cart down the road.
I tell you.
Increase in population does bring its share of woe, I am telling you.
Ranjit ji, there is an embargo on using bore wells to draw groundwater.
Yes.
But I dare say, every house has its own pump.
Yes, you're
And
right.
the net result is dwindling groundwater reserves.
Rightly
And
said.
think about the pilfering of electricity.
Oh, yeah.
How expensive everything has become. And this is to be expected. I tell you, when there are so many hungry mouths to feed and not enough food.
Rightly
Here's
said,
your order,
Bhavi.
sir.
Finally chola bhaturas and
Dosas. Yes, please serve the chola bhatura here
yeah.
and dosas to others. Harihar?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, please.
Could you get us some more sambar, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
That's perfect. Enjoy yourselves. Come on, friends.
Okay.
Correctly observed, Sudha Bhabhi. Too many hungry mouths to feed and not enough food.
Ranjit.
Don't you worry about money.
But on a serious note, like the prices go up high in the cities when the demand is high. Of course, that is the market reality. And when Delhiites demand dosas, they drive up for the prices, but then the quality, it's excellent.
Yeah, it's excellent. Well, Ranjit, the entire world is worried about the global trend of migration from rural areas to urban areas.
Yes.
A UN survey of all 193 UN member states found that 80% had policies to reduce rural to urban migration. The question should be aimed to meet people's aspiration, or should we put a stop to migration?
Harihar Bhai, you said that people move from villages to cities in their quest for better conditions. But is this wholly true? Is this?
So what other factors could be there, Arvindji?
Exactly.
Yes, people move from villages to towns and cities in search for better conditions, a better life. That is why they're called migrants.
I think in most cases they are not migrants but displaced people.
Displaced? Why displaced? Did someone force them to leave? Someone who ventures out to actualize a dream or aspirations cannot be called displaced.
Okay, What if my 20 acres of farmland cannot be irrigated because climate change has disrupted rainfall patterns? Or if the crops that do ultimately grow turn out sickly and are decimated by pests? What would you call a once prosperous farmer forced to work as a laborer in the city? Would you not call him a displaced person? Is this not displacement?
What sort of displacement would this be?
Bhaiya, this is displacement due to climate change.
Oh, Shweta, this is environmental disaster.
Yes,
It is, Harihar Bhai. And you must realize that villages sustain not just agriculture but other means of livelihood too. For example, handicrafts, weaving, value addition to crops are also supported. But see, no rains mean no crops.
Yes.
No crops means no cash. And again, no cash means no purchase. Not just no purchase, but all transactions come to a grinding halt.
Correct.
So there is no work. And under the circumstances, how is life to be sustained? Hence, displacement from original location.
Well, the blame for non-arrival of rains has to be shared globally. Global warming.
You are right, Ranjitji. But who is acknowledging the fact? Neither citizens nor the global community.
Yes.
Take cities like Delhi for an example. People here use about 250 liters of water per head on a daily basis. But luxury hotels use up to 500 liters per head on a daily basis.
Disgusting.
And there is no water for irrigation. So resources are city-centric. No wonder people are rushing to cities.
But that's not right. I mean, it is not a sustainable practice. Every sector, every community has a role to play in the development of the nation. I remember reading that villages are not just the units of productivity, but they are the custodians of art and culture. Vacating villages to expand cities, it can only end in anarchy and nothing else.
Sudha, rightly observed, huh?
Of course, in your company.
Thank you. But Arvind, sustainable development entails that people not be uprooted and all administrative and governmental advantages be made available to them near where they are settled.
True.
Correctly said, Harihar Bhai.
Thank you.
When a person is displaced, it is not just a physical or geographical change. It entails great mental trauma as well.
Exactly.
Imagine changing the simple rural life for the urban rat race that encourages selfish, self-centered thoughts. It is not easy at all.
At all.
Then dreams die. Hope fades and life? Well,
And that is why you say expanding cities, shrinking lives.
rightly said, Ranjit. If we focus only on developing our cities and forget to involve the far-flung areas and villages, then it is not sustainable development that we are talking about. Such practices will bring us to the brink of anarchy, famine, and precipitate the death of interpersonal relationships.
I understand your message, Arvind. We are neglecting the fundamental basis of life, like sharing, conserving, and showing compassion.
And this brings to mind Gandhiji's famous words that I have heard, being repeated quite a few number of times.
And what is that?
He used to say, Arvindji, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed.
Ah,
Today we have almost destroyed the environment, and we are blaming the sales and the crowd when we ourselves are the real culprits.
Yes.
Yes, Sudha Bhabhi. Very well said.
Thanks.
Conservation of the environment, its security, it's our responsibility. Yet, look, we do not segregate waste in the green and blue dustbins. We insist on throwing garbage just about anywhere that takes our fancy.
I know.
We do not protest when we see the garbage being burnt. We simply focus on getting by anyhow. As long as our interest is served, we are fine with it. So whose fault is it? Only ours, isn't it?
Yes.
true, Ranjit Bhai, true. But there are avenues that are still open. Global warming is a problem, I admit, but there are always ways to combat. No one will be a migrant if he or she gets all amenities at home.
Exactly. Well said, Arvind. It is important that employment is available near person's home. At least respectable life can be lived that way.
Right,
True
right,
that
huh?
is. We need to reevaluate the environmental issues and look for new solutions. We need to restore self confidence and self sustainability to our villages. We have to stop the cities from becoming engorged and engulfing villages.
Yes, Shweta. Life in cities is exorbitant. And is it possible to accommodate this huge population within its confines? No. And anyway, it is still the agriculture that is the largest single source of employment in our country.
Right on, Sudha Bhabhi. We have to understand the value of labor. We have to realize that the world's resources are finite.
Rightly said, my husband.
Wasting it means that we are digging a pit for ourselves. It is imperative that the natural resources be distributed equitably, and to do this, we need to share equally the fruits of advanced science and technology.
So correct, Arvind, so correct. You know, poverty in the world is keeping pace with increase in global prosperity. We really need to deploy policies to end biting poverty. You know, one major reason behind human migration and displacement is war.
War?
Yes, young people around the world are demanding a change in established social setups in which everyone has equal access to a decent and sustainable lifestyle.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You know, 80% of all resources should not remain sequestered to a handful of privileged people.
Right.
Sir, your coffee, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaiya. You have served it at just the right time.
I know.
And the dosas were excellent too.
Yes, very. Thank you.
Harihar ji, I admit desertification is on the rise and wars are becoming more and more fierce. But at the end of the day, it is we humans who are to be blamed.
Yes, Ranjitji. The quest for self respect, security, and a better future lies at the roots of a person's migration. And this has been happening since the advent of mankind. Human development has been a result of such practices.
Yes, Shweta. But today, excessive greed and market forces have resulted in wealth or money taking precedence over everything.
Oh, yeah?
People have started to believe that wealth is the font of happiness, whereas it is excessive attachment to material wealth that is the root cause of unhappiness.
Harihar Bhai, I think as a journalist you understand all the facts. Look, I am talking about a meaningful change. The existence of cities is less necessary than the existence of villages.
How?
Because the continued existence of villages is as important as those of our woods and forests.
Oh.
Well. Now I understand. Migration, deportation, or displacement have shaped humanity. It is a serious issue, but I can see that we have migrated to this restaurant in search of an excellent coffee.
Ranjit.
And my family members migrate to the marketplace at least 3 times a week.
Really?
So, aren't urban attractions such as these reasons enough for people to migrate to cities?
Yeah, actually, valid point.
Ranjit.
Ranjit ji, think of it in this way. The cool village breeze, the fresh fragrance of gur being made, the sigh of the yoked oxen, the potter's wheel shaping a pot, and the dust kicked up by the hooves of cows returning at dusk. The wonderful aroma of dal and roti being cooked on open fire.
Wow.
Unadulterated ghee that they serve us. And above all, unadulterated love.
Wow, Sudha.
Can't all these rural attractions make us want to reverse the trend and migrate to the villages?
Well said, Sudha Bhabhi.
Thanks.
It is indeed time to save our villages and forests and initiate reverse migration.
Of course.
That is the movement from cities to villages.
Wow. Sudha spoke about unadulterated love. And that is the key. You know, if we put villages and forests first in all our policies, then I'm sure the situation will be reverse. But in me, not at all.
Yes. I agree, Harihar ji. If life has to be sustained, if relationships are to be saved, if love has to flourish, We really need to make sure we act such that there is unity and inclusion in all we do.
Well said, Ranjit. Well
Well, that calls for another round of coffee. What's it?
Oh, I don't mind. Let's go for it.
Life must go on. You were listening to the 44th episode of this science serial, produced by All India Radio in collaboration with Vigyan Prasar, titled Problems of Expanding Cities. Coordinators were Dr. Chandar Mohan and Dr. B.K. Tyagi. Research and script Anurag Sharma. English translation Sukanya Datta. The episode was directed by Sudarshan Kumar. Presented by Dilip Jha. Recording and mixing Diksha Sharma. And the participating artists were Nikhil Devan, Vasundhara Bose, Rakshit Thaplial, Harshit Sahai, and Mamta Malkani. Hey listeners, please stay with us. Here are 2 questions for you. The lucky winner will get attractive prize from Vigyan Prasar. The first question is, according to a 2014 survey, what percentage of global population now lives in towns and cities? And the second question is, which activity in our country still is the largest single source of employment? You can send in your answers by simple post. Our address is Science Serial Life Must Go On, All India Radio, room number 615, New Broadcasting House, Sansad Marg, New Delhi 110001. You can also write on our email ID, that is radio@vigyanprasad.gov.in. Please do write or mail us your full name, age and profession. If associated with any science club, then do let us know the membership of your club. If you have any query or question, don't hesitate to write into us. We will be back again with the next episode of this science serial. Life must go on. Same day, same time, next week. Till then, goodbye.